What's happening? Yeah, there's some crazy sky activity going on. Big, giant, bright, super bright halo around the moon right now. But uh, you know, I was listening to John, the audiobook, the Gospel of John, and there's like the secret, there's a real particular way Jesus prays through that whole account. You know what I'm saying? Because each gospel is like a different account of the same thing. Just like each prophet is an account of the same prophecy, but it's from a different man. You know what I'm saying? So, but his words are being guided by spiritual forces, just like Blavatsky channels things from the devil, from Lucifer. Well, if Lucifer can channel stuff to people, then how come God can't guide a man's hand and heart and mind to leave an accurate account? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, come on now, don't be a hypocrite. If you're gonna throw out the Bible, well then throw out Blavatsky. You dig? But anyway, here's another thing. The oratory skills of people in the Bible, man, they talk about they were swift as roes in the mountains, or his face was as a lion. Oh, his head was hard as flint. You know what I'm saying? These are awesome descriptions. You know how Indian that sounds? You know what I'm saying? The way that they spoke in the Bible time. And that's, I mean, here's another thing. I've read The Art of War. The Art of War, I mean, besides it, you throw out the strategy part, there's a whole bunch of lineages of warring states. And there's times where, even though these men were heathens, right? There's times where they kind of seen righteousness for a minute. I mean, it still is self-righteousness in a way, if it just only go to glorify humanistic pursuits. You know what I'm saying? It's not really, it's pharisaical. It becomes, when righteousness becomes pharisaical. You know what I mean? But, or even like Jesus says, like faith is like the mustard seed. And when it grows, it's a small seed, but when it grows, all the fowls of the heavens can nest under it. That's kind of like, I mean, these are like, I guess, speaking in the parable, but I mean, it's things about nature. I mean, we're described as the seed sown into different types of grounds, right? So did not Jesus refer to us in such a way that's kind of like how we're connected in it? We're a lot like nature is in a lot of ways. I mean, I think it said when Cain put Abel's body in the earth that it said she did not give up her her fruit or whatever. And so the Bible and wisdom also was referred to as her. But that's the only thing as her. They're not, that's not God. The earth isn't God. Wisdom isn't necessarily, wisdom itself isn't God, because how come man can have wisdom, but God's already got it? You know what I'm saying? So it's outside. I mean, just swinging that's the only thing. But anytime you refer to the Queen of Heaven, that's Ishtar. That's the devil's wife, Lilith, basically. I mean, even if that ain't accurate, it is in parably. You know what I mean? It's crazy. But anyway, yeah, back to the Bible. If you read Chronicles and the Old Testament, man, there's a lot of war chronicles in there, dude. So it's like when you read other war chronicles, it kind of jives. They teach you things, even though if you there's more to this thing than just a war chronicle. But it's like there's this Indian story where this dude, basically this Indian guy, comes home from hunting, getting some stuff for his family, and his family's all gone. And then he's running around, and he sees these footprints all going off in the direction of the other people's camp, the neighbors, the neighbor tribe. And this dude runs over there, and basically his son is on he's tied to a stake, and they got a big pile of wood there. And basically this dude comes running up all by himself, and the whole tribe, like, no one attacked him. Normally they would attack, but the dude was he had this look of determination where no one hit him up. And then he's like, man, why are you guys gonna kill my son? He ain't even grown old enough to kill anyone yet. So he's innocent of anything. So why are you doing this? And in other words, the people were set on their sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? So the dude says, well, look, let my son go and I'll take his place. So basically this kid has to run away as his father is being, burnt to death. But later in the history book, it comes out that this dude becomes he's the baddest war chief, like, probably in the history of the tribe. His name's like Boswa or something like that. I think his name's the something Links. I think that's what his name meant, the something Links. But this dude, he ended up pushing back all the tribes. Like, he went and pushed everyone out of the area in the future. But the father wouldn't go ahead, and he called out some real truth there, and the Indians understood that. They were like, yeah, he's right. Why we should burn you instead. You actually have killed, our tribe brothers. So they burnt him, but they let the son go, and he grew up, became a real powerful chief. I'm telling you, man, that's an awesome story, but it's a war chronicle, and it jives a lot to a lot of the stuff when you're reading like Judges, Numbers, and other books, man, where there's all these crazy fights going on, and there's like different tribes around, and they're renowned for different type of things, tactics, and it's all interesting stuff. You know what I'm saying? Besides being good for your understanding, like spiritually, there's a spiritual aspect to understanding them war chronicles. You know what I'm saying? In the Bible. So wouldn't it be good to understand like things that are like that, that are modern? At the time, the men of the age when Jesus was around, they didn't have to read what we have to read because the time didn't pass. So now we have to read that plus other things to link it into why that is important. If you may not have realized what you're looking at there when you're looking at that war chronicle. Like, then you go read Sun Tzu, but then if you push out the strategy part and just look at the historical part, it reads a lot like the Bible did. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying even though the Bible has, there's a spiritual purpose behind it, and when it comes to just pure war chronicles, it's not so much spiritual, but there may be aspects that are spiritual, but then again, it's more for humanistic pursuits. And in the Bible, it was to tell a story. You know what I'm saying? And when men went humanistic in Israel and the northern tribes, Ephraim, it happened the same way. It was like their pride from winning for so long, they all got weak, started to do wrong, and then they just waxed worse and worse. You know what I'm saying? And that's why Ephraim got split up. And that's what I was going to say about Jesus. He was running around, he got in the fight with these Jews, and he goes, you know what? I go to find my lost brethren. I go find the lost sheep of Israel. And everyone's like, and then then the next scripture says, and then they went to another land called Ephraim. And it's funny, man, because Jesus a lot, man, he also makes references to finding the lost sheep that are scattered abroad. And if you look at Paul, why was Paul commissioned? Go to the Gentiles. And then Paul even says, listen, why do you guys think that I'm just all for the Gentiles? Why not think that I'm going unto the lost sheep of Israel? Because in all actuality, they are hidden amongst the Gentiles. So it's part of the fullness of the Gentiles, is like amongst the Gentiles, people are going to realize, oh, shoot, we're connected to the tribes already. And this is part of the restoral. You know what I'm saying? The restoring things. Because, I mean, if God promised it and it doesn't happen, I mean, every word shall be fulfilled. So I mean, if the scripture be in there and that truly be what it's saying, then it will be fulfilled. So I mean, I'm gonna stand on the scripture. It's like, listen, I'm a guy. I have my own thoughts and opinions about things, but then again, I understand over here there's things you can stand on that are factual, or at least uh, when it comes to the Bible and the prophecy and stuff, the more you go ahead and try to mess it up, muddy it up, I mean, it's just the more it gets shiny. It's weird. It's like, you know, the more you polish the lamp, you know, the more it blings. In a way, because even like I was saying, it's like, look, it's hard to debunk some of the things of the Bible, because if you go, there's two ways to go about it. You can go with all towards the pure righteous angle, but then you can also see how it describes so accurately the evils of the world, like burning people to spirits, which the Indians also did, that's Moloch. They did that in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Too. You know what I mean? So in Israel always learned it from the tribes that they didn't exterminate, and this also happened here in America. You know what I'm saying? So, which would just, I don't know, man. It's crazy that I mean,